Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to General Hospital spoilers on Wednesday, May 7th, Dante Falconeri will seek the truth from Lois Cerullo about Giovanni Gio Palmieri, while Jack Brennan has a clandestine meeting. Emma Scorpio Drake will also reveal a secret, so here's what fans should expect. At GH, Dante will respond to Lois' unusual declaration. Lois couldn't stomach listening to Dante berate Gio any longer, so she revealed that Dante had no idea who Gio was. Of course, Dante will ask Lois to comment on this on Wednesday's broadcast. Since Dante has been blaming Gio for Rocco Falconeri's tragedy, he may believe there is nothing Lois can say to change his mind right now. Lois will be able to hide her gaffe by arguing that Gio is a lovely young guy with a good heart. Gio made a mistake by not calling for aid and getting Rocco to the hospital straight away, but he wasn't intentionally causing harm. Although Dante became enraged and even threatened to arrest Gio at one point, Lulu Spencer will attempt to calm him down. Dante is still shaken by what happened to Rocco, so Lulu will force him to recognize that he has been taking his fearful wrath out on Gio, and that he has ultimately gone too far. Of course, the wheels appear to be turning for Lulu now that Lois has hinted at Joe's true origin. Lulu may eventually piece together the pieces and come to the conclusion that Gio is Dante's adult son with Brooklyn Quartermain. Brooklyn will sit down with Harrison Chase and acknowledge she has something to tell him about. Brooklyn recently informed Tracy Quartermain about her adolescent pregnancy and how she gave the baby up for adoption. Brooklyn appears to be admitting her secret spillage to Chase. However, she will very certainly add that she did not mention Dante in that talk. Later, Brooklyn would voice her confusion. Lois may keep Brooklyn updated on Dante putting Gio on full blast. Thus Brooklyn may have a lot of questions concerning the bonfire, Rocco, and Dante's blame game. Emma will ask Jocelyn Jax at the beach if she can keep a secret. Thus Joss may predict that her lips will be shut, even if it's a promise she couldn't keep given her WSB status. Could Emma explain why she is so determined to get the research assistant position and learn more about Professor Henry Hank Dalton's plans? Later, Jocelyn will join Vaughn for a private meeting in Brennan's office. Brennan will emphasize the necessity of keeping Emma in the dark about the WSB mission, although this may become more difficult as time passes. While Brennan offers Vaughn and Jocelyn additional information about Professor Dalton's mission, Gio will meet up with Emma again. That will allow Gio to disclose what happened to Rocco and how upset Dante is, so Emma will provide some comfort. Laura Collins will return to the hospital to check on Rocco and find out what happened. It will be Rocco's opportunity to explain and seek advice from his adoring grandmother. Christina Corinthos Davis will tell Rick Lansing that they need to get the facts regarding his vehicle accident straight. Ava Jerome will be present for the conversation, but Christina is unlikely to admit responsibility. Christina is unaware of the blackmail strategy, so Ava and Rick may depart without revealing anything. Even still, Christina will most likely question Alexis in the aftermath, wondering what really happened during that stressful visit. Whatever the case, Christina will eventually make a peace offering to her mother, so Alexis should take it and hope they can get past all of the turmoil surrounding the documents to have Christina commit. According to General Hospital spoilers, Christina may have some more wild moments in store once Ava and Rick's conspiracy is revealed, so keep an eye out. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Lois is poised to inflict significant misery on her grandson Gio. And it's not just because she's kept the truth about his birth parents hidden from him all these years. He also doesn't know the truth about his adoptive mother, who allegedly died when he was a young boy. Lois is about to cause Gio some great pain. Furthermore, many program watchers believe it is unfair that Lois has kept this all a secret from Brooklyn, especially given her struggles with adoption. Many people have also accused Lois of being selfish for abandoning her grandson Gio and making him feel alone in the world in order to protect herself. As our readers can understand, the internet had a lot to say about the situation. Some fans and critics of the show even remarked, his adoptive mother is dead and will never be able to explain or defend herself once the truth is revealed. This in itself will have serious consequences for Gio. He will never be able to find closure if he discovers the truth. Lois is accused of being selfish. Another GH critic stated, then factor in all of the extra issues and pain. At the very least, Gio would experience years of trauma and pain while he processed his emotions. This is not something you should reveal on a whim. It's something to consider very carefully, and only if everyone is very serious about dealing with the fallout. And then there was this comment. Gio may be an orphan, but he has a large extended family, and the guy is well-adjusted and happy. Brooke Lynn has repeatedly stated that it is important for her to prioritize her children's happiness, rather than disrupting their lives due to the adoption. Lois, for better or worse, is doing what BLQ has requested. But she also benefits from knowing who the child is, even if she can only adore him as an aunt or distant relative. Of course, General Hospital fans will have to check back every day to see what happens next. ABC broadcasts General Hospital on weekdays. Check the local listings for times. Emma's Dalton's secret, Dante's request, Brennan's warning, Christina confesses. What will Dante discover about Gio? And what bombshell information does Emma reveal to Joss about Dalton on next week's GH? The General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, May 7, 2025 are here. In tomorrow's episode, fans can anticipate Jack Brennan to warn Vaughn. Giovanni Gio Palmieri opens up to Emma Scorpio Drake. Emma later confides in Jocelyn Jax. Also, Christina Corinthos Davis extends an olive branch. Continue reading to learn more about what will happen in the next episode of ABC's soap opera. Christina Corinthos Davis's confrontation. Christina ran across Rick Lansing and Ava Jerome while visiting her mother. The two criminals are blackmailing Alexis Davis because Christina purposefully caused the disaster. They went to give Alexis detailed directions about where to send the funds. Then they caught her off guard by asking twice the money, one for Rick and one for Ava. Christina is mocked for offering an olive branch. Then in a preview clip, Christina tells Ava and Rick, "We should get something straight about your car crash." Whatever olive branch Christina extends, Rick and Ava are unlikely to embrace. After all, they have video evidence. Lola Spencer grateful. Lulu Spencer will be relieved that Rocco Falconeri is going to be okay. It is also implied that Lulu will notify someone they have gone too far. That individual is most likely Dante Falconeri, who chastised Gio for what happened to Rocco, despite the fact that the musician was not to blame. Lois Cerullo is also teased for talking too much about Gio. Dante confronts Lois, demanding that she tell him who Gio is. Meanwhile, Laura Collins is in a hospital room, wondering what happened. That's most likely her grandson Rocco. Two secrets. Later, Gio opens up to Emma. However, Gio will not be the only one to confide in someone. A promotional clip shows Emma and Jocelyn sitting together. Emma suddenly asks whether she can tell Jocelyn a secret. Emma appears to be growing to like and rely on Jocelyn. As a result, Jocelyn may feel even more guilty about her current WSB mission. It is also said that Brennan briefs Vaughn and Jocelyn. In a preview clip, Jocelyn is not visible, but Brennan warns the handler that if she feels they are interested in Professor Henry Hank Dalton, it could be a problem. Wednesday, May 7, 2025. General Hospital spoilers for tomorrow state that Brooke Lynn Quartermaine must confess something to Harrison Chase. The drama in Port Charles reaches new heights as Dante Falconeri confronts Gio about a long-buried secret, demanding the truth once and for all. Meanwhile, Emma Drake, privy to a shocking revelation about Dalton, decides to confide in Jocelyn Jax, setting off a chain reaction that could change everything. As tensions rise and loyalties are tested, the residents of Port Charles find themselves entangled in a web of lies, betrayal, and unexpected alliances. Dante's confrontation with Gio stems from growing suspicions about his past actions. Rumors have swirled for months, but now, Dante is determined to uncover the full story. His relentless pursuit of the truth puts Gio in an impossible position. Will he come clean and face the consequences, or will he double down on deception, risking everything? The stakes are higher than ever, especially with loved ones caught in the crossfire. On the other side of town, Emma's decision to reveal Dalton's secret to Jocelyn sends shockwaves through their circle. The information she shares could destroy relationships and alter futures, leaving Jocelyn with an impossible choice. Protect the secret and betray her own morals, or expose the truth and face the fallout. Emma's motives are unclear. Is she acting out of concern, or does she have her own agenda? As the truth inches closer to the surface, alliances shift. Friendships are strained, and old wounds are reopened. Dante's investigation threatens to expose more than just Joe's lies, while Emma's revelation forces Jocelyn to question everything she thought she knew. In a town where secrets are currency, the cost of honesty may be higher than anyone anticipated. The tension between Dante and Gio escalates when evidence surfaces that could prove Joe's guilt beyond doubt. Dante, torn between duty and personal connections, must decide how far he's willing to go for justice. Meanwhile, Jocelyn grapples with the weight of Dalton's secret, knowing that revealing it could ruin lives, but keeping it could make her complicit in a dangerous lie. As the walls close in, Gio grows desperate, taking drastic measures to protect himself. His actions only deepen Dante's resolve, leading to a confrontation that leaves both men forever changed. At the same time, Jocelyn's internal struggle reaches a breaking point, forcing her to make a choice that will define her future. Emma watches the chaos unfold, her own role in the drama more complicated than it seems. Is she truly an innocent bystander? Or is she manipulating events for her own gain? Her connection to Dalton's secret runs deeper than anyone knows, and as the pieces fall into place, her true intentions may finally come to light. In Port Charles, trust is fragile, and the truth is never simple. Dante's quest for answers and Jocelyn's moral dilemma collide in an explosive showdown that leaves no one unscathed. With relationships hanging in the balance and futures on the line, the only certainty is that nothing will ever be the same again. The fallout from Dante's confrontation with Gio reverberates throughout the town, affecting even those who thought they were untouched by the scandal. Family members are forced to take sides, and longtime friendships are put to the test. Meanwhile, Jocelyn's decision regarding Dalton's secret has unintended consequences, pulling more people into the fray. As the dust settles, new questions emerge. Will Joe's lies finally catch up to him, or will he manage to escape accountability once again? Can Jocelyn live with the choices she's made, or will guilt consume her? And what of Emma? Will her involvement in the scandal be exposed, or will she walk away unscathed? One thing is certain. In Port Charles, the truth always comes at a price. And for those caught in the middle, the cost may be higher than they ever imagined. Emma's Dalton's secret, Dante's demand, Brennan's warning, Christina confesses. The small town of Willow Creek was known for its quiet streets, friendly neighbors, and the kind of secrets that festered beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to unravel everything. Emma Dalton had always been one of the town's most respected figures, a dedicated teacher, a devoted wife, and a woman who carried herself with quiet grace. But behind her warm smile and gentle demeanor lay a secret so explosive it could shatter the carefully constructed illusion of her perfect life. It had started innocently enough, a chance encounter, a moment of weakness, but now it had grown into something she could no longer ignore. The weight of it pressed down on her every day, a constant reminder that one wrong move could bring everything crashing down. She had managed to keep it hidden for years, but lately she had noticed the way certain people looked at her like they knew. Like they were just waiting for her to slip up. And if there was one thing Emma knew, it was that secrets never stayed buried in Willow Creek. Meanwhile, Dante Moretti was a man who didn't ask for much, but when he did, he expected to be obeyed. His family had been a cornerstone of Willow Creek for generations, and though their name carried both respect and fear, Dante had never been one to rely on reputation alone. He had built his own empire, one forged in steel and blood, and he wasn't about to let anyone undermine it. His demand had been simple: loyalty. But when whispers began circulating about betrayal within his inner circle, Dante's patience wore thin. He wasn't a man who tolerated disloyalty, and whoever had crossed him would soon learn the consequences of their mistake. The town might have thought they knew him, but they had no idea what he was truly capable of. And if he had to tear Willow Creek apart to find the traitor, then so be it. Brennan Shea had always been the voice of reason in a town that thrived on chaos. As the local sheriff, he had seen his fair share of trouble, but something about the recent undercurrent of tension in Willow Creek set him on edge. It wasn't just the usual petty disputes or drunken brawls. This was different. This felt like the calm before the storm. And when Brennan had a feeling, he trusted it. His warning had been clear. Whatever game was being played, it needed to stop before someone got hurt. But warnings only worked if people listened, and in Willow Creek, pride often outweighed common sense. He had tried to stay ahead of whatever was coming, but the pieces were moving too fast, and Brennan knew it was only a matter of time before everything erupted. The question was, would he be able to contain the damage when it did? Drew Kane worked on $1 million revenge plot while Giovanni Gio Palmieri was threatened with arrest by Dante Falconeri, according to the General Hospital recap for Tuesday, May 6. At which Gio attempted to explain his side of the event, but Dante believed Gio should have been the adult in the situation and requested serious assistance. Lois Cerullo attempted to defend Gio before Rocco Falconeri's doctor gave Dante and Lulu Spencer information about his illness. Rocco was going to be alright, but things could have gone wrong because he had a life-threatening blood alcohol level before his stomach was pumped. When Rocco awoke, he apologized, but Dante and Lulu offered him loving reassurance. Despite this, Rocco realized Dante was upset, so Lulu advised that fear frequently manifests as rage when you are a concerned parent. Back with Gio, he informed Danny Morgan about Rocco over the phone. Carly Spencer overheard and asked to speak with Danny, so she confirmed that he was at the boathouse and went over there. Danny felt bad and admitted that he coaxed Rocco into going to the party before abandoning him to play volleyball. Carly delivered some tough love for the close call, making sure Danny understood how serious this was. Danny promised to apologize to Lulu and Dante, as well as tell Jason Morgan all that had happened. Back at the hospital, Dante spoke with Gio and Lois in private. Dante erupted again, believing Joe's actions had the potential to cost Rocco his life. When Dante threatened to arrest Gio for providing alcohol to a juvenile, Gio protested that he had not given Rocco any alcohol or seen him swallow a sip. Dante pondered how he could be certain of it, but Lois once again acted as Joe's defender. As Dante resumed his outburst, Lois forced him to stop and revealed that he had no idea who Gio actually was. Dante's expression was perplexed, as was Lulu's as she watched the situation unfold nearby. In Rocco's room again, he thanked Cody Bell for saving him and received a pep talk as Dante, too, had committed many mistakes as a child. Drew then offered $500,000 for the information Brad Cooper had on who was behind his drugging operation. Brad revealed that it was Portia Robinson before revealing that she had him dig into Drew's medical records and steal ketamine for her. Although Brad was ready to see Portia fall, Drew offered to boost the amount to $1 million if Brad did one more thing for him. After Kai Taylor's operation, he awoke and told Trina Robinson that the difficult part was gone. Kai would move his toes, assuring Trina that the worst-case paralysis situation was out of the question. Kai later made a little step out into the hallway, and Trina was relieved to see him standing up and moving. Trina grinned and predicted that Kai could achieve anything, but he appeared apprehensive as they hugged. In the automobile outside the hospital, Rick Lansing informed Ava Jerome about the shell firm he had established to receive payments from Alexis Davis. Meanwhile, Christina Corinthos Davis provided Lucky Spencer with information on Alexis' attempts to commit her and explained the paperwork. Lucky saw Alexis was coming from a place of concern, and she wasn't wholly wrong about Christina needing assistance. Christina reassured Lucky that she was in therapy, but she believed Alexis had gone too far. Lucky, on the other hand, noticed Christina's desire to learn from her recent mistakes, so he advised her not to let this tear her family apart again. When Alexis opened the door to Diane Miller at her house, she was holding a dagger. Diane stated that she arrived in peace before Alexis revealed that Christina and Molly Lansing Davis learned about the documents to have Christina committed. Although Diane accepted the blame and offered to make things right, Alexis believed she should be the one to do so. However, Alexis was concerned that forgiveness might not be possible this time. Alexis stated Christina was unaware of Chrissy's involvement in the tragedy, which explains why her daughter was caught off guard. Once Diane had left, Rick and Ava arrived to make additional demands. After providing information about the shell firm, Rick made it apparent that Alexis would make separate payments to him in addition to those made to Ava. That meant doubling the money, and Alexis cautioned her she might be caught stealing that much from the Cassadine estate. If Alexis went down for this, she planned to bring Ava and Rick down with her. Rick stated that if that occurred, they would ensure that Alexis' beloved lunatic daughter was also killed. But you will not let that happen. Will you, Alexis? Rick inquired shortly before Christina arrived and wondered what was going on. According to General Hospital teasers, Alexis will face another difficult situation, so stay into the ABC soap. Cody and Molly's couple confusion at the nurses' ball sparks drama? General Hospital spoilers indicate that Cody Bell and Molly Lansing Davis have formed a pleasant friendship. They were at odds when they first met, but they have gradually become closer. It appears like they are on the verge of a romance, but will the two experience turmoil when they get confused as a pair in the coming weeks? A classical romantic trigger. General Hospital spoilers suggest that Cody and Molly have sparks, although they are not officially together. What would happen if someone imagined they were dating or in a relationship? Would the concept spark some romantic feelings between the two? It's a well-known storyline in the soap opera world. Bad lad and decent girl clash, but eventually become friends and lovers. Still, assuming these two are dating could either help or hinder their relationship. The 2025 Nurses Ball. What if Cody and Molly are strolling down the red carpet at the 2025 Nurses Ball, and a reporter assumes they are there together? Perhaps Cody and Molly decide to go to the ball together as friends, only for a paparazzi to assume they are romantically involved? Molly, an associate district attorney in Port Charles and a Cassadine, may be the center of attention as she walks the red carpet with the Quartermaine stable boy. How will Cody and Molly react to being called out as a couple? They may laugh about it because they are opposites, but may they also have a realization? Molly recently broke up with TJ Ashford, her first love and partner since she was a youngster. Cody also had a difficult breakup when he discovered his gal pal, Sasha Corbin, was actually his cousin. Will the presumption about this pair produce drama, uncertainty, and upheaval between Molly and Cody, or will it spark romance? Brad's sinful deal, Dante rips into Gio and Ava loses it. Prepare for action, betrayal and jaw-dropping secrets on the next episode of General Hospital. General Hospital teasers indicate that a preview clip has been released for Tuesday, May 6, 2025. It depicts Brad Cooper striking a deal with Drew Kane. Meanwhile, Dante Falconeri blasts at Giovanni Gio Palmieri. Continue reading to learn more about what will happen in today's episode of ABC soap drama. Ava Jerome's reminder. Let's start with Ava Jerome and Rick Lansing. They are driving in a car together when Ava abruptly turns to face her lover. Ava tells him that they're supposed to be a team. Something Rick says causes Ava to reconsider things, judging by the look on her face. Alexis Davis's dilemma. Meanwhile, Alexis Davis rants to Diane Miller. Although Alexis was confronted by both of her daughters, the situation is far more intricate than they realize. Alexis now wonders how she can clean up the damage caused by the commitment papers. General Hospital spoilers indicate Christina Corinthos Davis will open up to Lucky Spencer. Christina will be outraged that her mother could do this to her. Lucky, on the other hand, will argue that Alexis is not entirely wrong. After all, Christina did cut brake lines while thinking the vehicle belonged to Ava. Christina, on the other hand, reacts violently and asks Lucky if he thinks she's insane. I'm not sure Christina really wants to hear the answer to that question. Tuesday, May 6, 2025. Fans will also witness Brad's life-changing decision. Brad will no longer tolerate Portia Robinson's demands and rudeness. Now that Portia has dabbled in drugging people, the lab tech is out. Brad, on the other hand, does not simply leave. He sells to the highest bidder. In a preview clip, Brad storms into Drew's hospital room. Brad suddenly announces that for the appropriate price, he will tell Drew everything. I guess Brad can say goodbye to ever getting Lucas Jonas back. Willow Tate Corinthos also places the blame for Drew's drugging on the incorrect person. Willow yells at Nina Reeves, "We both know who is guilty," referring to Tracy Quartermaine. Fans know Portia and Nina recruited Jacinda, but Drew is unaware of this. Dante also lashes out at Gio, claiming that if anything bad happens to Rocco Falconeri, it will be his fault. Lois Curello eventually pleads with Dante. Will this be the moment Dante discovers the truth? Drew's $1 million revenge plot. Drew had spent years nursing his grudge, letting it fester in the dark corners of his mind until it consumed him entirely. The betrayal had been swift and brutal. His former business partner, Marcus, had stolen his company, his reputation, and nearly his sanity. But Drew wasn't the kind of man to let such an offense go unanswered. No, he had spent every waking moment since that day plotting his revenge, and now finally the pieces were falling into place. It had started with meticulous research. Drew needed to understand Marcus's weaknesses, his habits, his new empire built on stolen wealth. He hired private investigators, dug through financial records, and even befriended a few of Marcus's disgruntled employees. The picture that emerged was one of arrogance. Marcus had grown careless in his success, believing himself untouchable. That would be his downfall. The plan was simple in theory but required flawless execution. Drew would hit Marcus where it hurt the most, his fortune. Over the past year, Drew had quietly amassed enough insider knowledge to manipulate stock prices, sabotage key deals, and plant false evidence of corporate fraud. He had even cultivated a relationship with a high-ranking official in the Securities and Exchange Commission, ensuring that when the time came, Marcus would face not just financial ruin but legal annihilation. But money wasn't enough. Drew wanted Marcus to feel the same helplessness, the same crushing despair he had endured. That's where Evelyn came in. Marcus's new wife, beautiful, ambitious, and, as Drew had discovered, secretly unhappy in her marriage. A few carefully staged encounters, some well-placed whispers about Marcus's infidelity, and Evelyn had become Drew's unwitting ally. She would be the one to deliver the final blow, filing for divorce at the worst possible moment, dragging Marcus's name through the mud just as his empire crumbled around him. The final phase was set in motion on the night of Marcus's biggest celebration, the launch of his newest venture, a high-profile merger that would solidify his status as a titan of industry. The gala was lavish, filled with investors, politicians, and media. Drew watched from the shadows as Marcus basked in the adoration, completely unaware of the storm about to strike. At precisely 9:47 p.m., the first domino fell. A leaked report hit the financial networks, revealing discrepancies in Marcus's company's books. Minutes later, stock prices began to plummet. By 10:15, Evelyn had stormed out of the event after a very public confrontation, fueling rumors of Marcus's infidelity. And by midnight, federal agents were at his door with a warrant. Drew watched it all unfold with cold satisfaction. The media frenzy, the investors fleeing, Marcus's desperate attempts to salvage his reputation. It was everything he had dreamed of. But as he stood there, staring at the chaos he had orchestrated, a strange emptiness settled over him. Revenge had been his sole purpose for years, and now that it was complete, he wasn't sure what came next. The money, the destruction of Marcus's life, it hadn't healed the wounds of the past. If anything, it had only deepened them. Drew had become the very thing he despised. Ruthless, calculating, willing to destroy lives for his own satisfaction. As he turned away from the wreckage of his revenge, he realized that the true cost of his million-dollar plot wasn't measured in dollars. It was measured in the pieces of his own soul he had sacrificed along the way. In the end, Drew walked away, leaving behind the ruins of Marcus's life, and perhaps his own. The revenge had been perfect, but the victory felt hollow. Somewhere in the back of his mind, a quiet voice whispered that maybe, just maybe, he had lost more than he had gained. But it was too late for regrets. The game was over, and Drew was left to wonder if it had ever been worth playing at all. Yet sleep eluded him. He had expected triumph, the sweet taste of justice finally served. Instead, he found himself pacing his penthouse at night, staring at the city lights below, wondering when the satisfaction would come. He had spent years fantasizing about this moment, but now that it was here it felt incomplete. Then the call came. It was Evelyn. She was crying, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and desperation. "You used me," she accused. "You knew exactly what you were doing." Drew hesitated. He had anticipated her rage, but hearing it shook him more than he expected. "Marcus deserved it," he said coldly, though the words sounded hollow even to him. "He's destroyed," she whispered. "But so am I. Did you ever care about that?" The question lingered in the air long after she hung up. Drew sat in silence, the weight of her words pressing down on him. He had told himself that Evelyn was collateral damage, that she would recover. But now, hearing the pain in her voice, he wondered if he had crossed a line he could never uncross. A week later, Drew received an unexpected visitor. Daniel Carter, the SEC official he had manipulated into investigating Marcus. The man stood in Drew's office, his expression unreadable. "I know it was you," he said quietly. Drew tensed but kept his face neutral. "I don't know what you're talking about." Daniel smirked, a bitter twist of his lips. "You're good. But not that good." He tossed a file onto Drew's desk. Inside were copies of transactions, encrypted messages, and enough evidence to suggest Drew's involvement. Drew's pulse quickened. What do you want? Daniel leaned forward. I don't care about Marcus. He was always a snake. But you dragged me into this, made me your puppet. That I can't forgive.